Okay, anyone who's watching this episode's going to be a bit different to the ones so far, mainly because I'm not actually playing the game as I'm talking. I'm currently doing a voiceover. Because I realised when I was recording the previous episode during the stream that I had way too many side missions to do. So I decided that what I wanted to do was do all the side missions off camera, record it, and just put a quick video together so that people to see what I actually did. And then the series will get on with the actual story. Because otherwise I'm going to spend hours wandering around doing side missions. And I don't know how many more episodes it would take, because if you don't realise, anyone watching this as the re-upload to my YouTube channel, I've been streaming this game, so it was 2 hours every week. And if I have to spend 2 hours walking back and forth, it's a really boring stream for everybody. So, yeah, side missions. That's what this episode is. This episode is just side missions. So the first side mission was Blackrock. Blackrock was just, you have to find the prisoners that got through to Pleasant Valley from the bus crash that we saw in Mackenzie's first episode. So, I had already started this, but the reason I couldn't finish it was because, for some reason, I read the document on this guy, but I didn't take the document. So once I took it, it allowed me to do the next step of the mission. So for the next part of Blackrock, you basically just walk up the mountain and eventually find a dude on the floor with an arrow in his back. And you search the guy, you search the bag next to the guy, and the bag's got a note in it. The note reads as follows. Something out there hunting us. Didn't see him coming. Thought we'd lost the hacks down by the road. Eyes open, fellas, or we'll never get out of here. Yeah, see, I'd record this afterwards, but, you know, a big part of this playthrough for me is trying to do really, probably all the same, but trying to do interesting voices for reading out all of the notes, so you're getting all the notes. Fuck you. Anyway, the final stage of the Blackrock mission, you find a cave, basically due west of the other one. And the cave's got like a burnt out campfire. There's a bag which has one more note in it. Use this stuff to push on up and out of this place. No end to these hills. We got no other way. That thing is still out there. See, it definitely adds something, doesn't it? The comical voice reading. I think it really complements the aesthetic they were going for with this quite serious survival game. You go further into the cave and there's like a little ammo box on the floor and it's got shitloads of bullets in it, which is great because I'm such a bad aim with my gun that I needed more bullets. So I'm going to put in a clip here. There's a really satisfying bit when I was just about to walk out of the cave and I was like, you know what, I'm going to reload my revolver. I just sat there going, felt so good. Just knowing that all these wolves can die. I mean, that I can be safe in the wilderness and not kill animals intentionally. So the next side mission was the church artifact. Somebody had stolen something from the church and we had to get it back. We ended up getting to this log cabin that was just out in the middle of nowhere, like this tiny little cabin. And when we got inside, yeah, it was minuscule. Like there wasn't even a heater. Not that you need it, because for some reason you warm up inside a building regardless of how cold it might actually be inside that building. But when we were here, we did find a booklet for the Ghost Stag, which is another side quest which we'll get to later on. On the floor by the bed, there was a newspaper clipping, which I'm not going to read the whole thing off because it's a bit pointless. Although what I am going to do is read the bottom line, because the bottom line is a quote from Father Thomas. And as we know, Father Thomas has a great voice, so...
Although its monetary value is considerable, for members of our church, it is a spiritual matter as well.
So that's what Father Thomas sounds like. If you've, like, watched the previous episode, or what I imagine will be the following episode, we talk to him again. Father Thomas has this... I think the way I described him was he looks like Santa and he sounds like an elf. I was quite proud of that description. Under the bed next to that note was a suitcase with a letter in that said, My Cindy, what now, honey? No cash, nothing coming. I had to do something. Everyone's gone. I don't know where this ends, but I'm sorry either way. Things up above on the ridge, in that empty basement. Maybe we can trade it in for a way out of here. Sam. Sammy! Yeah, so basically the letter's saying go to the top of the hill, and there's another thing you have to search. Next part of the quest, there was like a bunch of burnt out houses, and then you can go down into a basement on one of the houses, which was where we had to go in. And yeah, the basement was just sort of a bunker. There were a few goodies in it, but the main thing that was there was there was like set stairs and some floorboards, and you break the floorboards, and you get the church artifact back, which was literally just a cross. I assume a valuable cross, but it was a cross. So yeah, we took the cross back to the church. When we put the cross into the church, it was like, come back the next day. I don't know why she couldn't have just gone and told Father Thomas, but apparently she wanted to do it anonymously So yeah, we came back the next day, and there was a thank you note from Father Thomas, which, of course, I'm going to read.
I can only thank you for what you've done for us, and for letting God's light shine through you. Whoever you are, I sense that you have endured worse than a storm or two in order to return this humble treasure of ours. We will never forget you.
If anyone would like to hire me for a voice acting job, you can get in touch through various means, my Twitter, through a business email, which I think might be online somewhere. Because clearly I was made for this. Tom, Sleepless Readings Tom, who I play a fair few games with on this channel, you know, he's a good voice actor, but is he anything compared to what I'm bringing you here? I don't think so. The next side mission was the one that was the most tedious. This was Joplin bunker caches. Basically, what you had to do was walk around the entire map. Yeah, so in the north of the map, just near where the plane crash was, there was a bunker. And yeah, we went into the bunker. The bunkers are great. Like, I'm not dissing the actual bunkers because they're full of loads of good supplies. In particular, the first bunker I went to had the hunting rifle, which is the gun I've wanted for ages because Mackenzie had that gun. It was way better than Astrid's pew pew revolver. The problem with the bunker cache missions is they're just so far away from each other. And once you've looted a place, you're already over encumbered. So if you want to keep the stuff that you found, you got to take it all the way back to the community hall to dump it in the storage chest that they gave you in order to then go to the next one. Anyway, Joplin's bunker cache. So inside the vents of the first two of these were notes. So the first note read, "The storm's coming. No man knows when, but I can smell it. Can't stop it. All the man can do is hide out while it blows over." Yeah, so I spent a while looting that bunker, getting all the goods, and then when you find that note, it directs you to the next bunker. The next bunker was south of Molly's house, so if you remember, the other one was top north of the map. The next one was all the way down in the southwest of the map. This one was tucked behind a rock, and again, when you went inside, there were various supplies, some quite useful things, but another part of Joplin's journal. "All these quakes are a sign. Old world's coming down around me. Gotta be on the move. Can't stay still. Got to get away. Got to get up higher. Someplace in the open sky. Past the timberline. Way up." It sounds like a song. "Gotta get away. Gotta get up higher. Somewhere in the open sky. Past the timberline. Way up, up, up. Somewhere in the open sky." Anyway. Once again, this bunker was full of various goodies, but it also had one of the local legends, like basically another side quest, which again we'll get to after this, because the local legend side quests are the more interesting ones. Like, I thought I'd get out the sort of the wandering around and gathering stuff ones first. Like, these ones are like, oh, go and explore this thing, so they're next. But anyway, yes, so I looted all the stuff, and then I had to take it back to the community hall to dump it, which was fine for this one because the next bunker was near the community hall. But as I said, like, one top north, one southwest, one southeast, so triangle everywhere on the map. If I'd done this on stream, it would have been the entire stream, just me walking back and forth through bunkers. So I'm glad I chose to do it this way. It's been a bit awkward having to record this segment afterwards of me talking about it, but thankfully I've got enough footage that I can ramble. Because, you know, I basically walked around like I was exploring things in a museum, like slowly looking around. So yeah, as you can see in the background, presumably I'm still wandering around. Anyway, bunker, mountain, third bunker was just sort of tucked underneath a rock. And when I went inside this one, again, loads and loads of supplies. But this one in particular there were so many things in this one because it was the final one in the quest. And no note in this one, but something that was really useful in these is that I managed to find some kerosene, which I needed for the gathering supplies quest. Speaking of the gathering supplies quest, the one thing the bunker did allow me to do is get that nearly finished. So in the next episode, when you see me finish that quest, it's all done except for the kerosene, which I've put in the storage crate next to it. So all I need to do is pick up... I think there's probably going to be a cutscene where Father Thomas is like,
"Thank you so much for bringing us all of the supplies."
Which is why I wanted to leave it until... I'm never going to get tired of doing that voice. Which is why I'm going to leave it until that episode to do it, because obviously if there's a cutscene and I miss it, then I'll be a little bit irritated. This wasn't a side quest, but I thought this was really funny. I killed a wolf on the way back from the second bunker, and for some reason, instead of dying, it just sort of tilted and stopped. So there was just this wolf like propped up, and I realised that it would be a really good opportunity to get some thumbnail pictures, because the episode that I was editing before this one was the one where I get attacked by wolves. And I was like, you know what, I can get a really good close up of a wolf here because it's not flat on the floor. So you can see me in the background here just trying to get a good angle to get a thumbnail for the wolf, which was quite amusing. So let's move on to the more interesting side missions. These are the local legends ones, like the Tall Tales ones. And if you recall from a previous episode, we've already done one of these, which was finding Sasquatch. But it wasn't Sasquatch, it was a dude with a coat on. Because he had like a really thick wolfskin coat, and people were like, oh my god, it's Sasquatch, when it's just some hermit living in a cave. The first one of these was the glowing cave, like Legend Tales of a Glowing Cave. And it was actually really cool, this one, because even though, once again, I had to travel across the entire fucking map to get to it, the entrance was hidden behind, like, a rock formation. So it's actually really cool to sort of slip through and, like, see if you find this secret entrance. And, yeah, I ended up inside a network of caves that were twisting and turning, but eventually I found a crawl space that led through to a waterfall. So once you pass under the waterfall, which, by the way, immediately gives you hypothermia because you're walking under freezing cold water, you come out into the glowing cave, which was, like, a super cool place. Unfortunately, I didn't look around enough. I realised when I was watching the footage back that I'm editing this onto, I didn't really look around the cave because I wasn't quite sure what I was looking for in these mysteries yet. So what I ended up doing was just lighting the fire and looting. The loot here was pretty decent, though. One of the dead bodies had a moose hide satchel on it, which increases your carry weight by 5 kilograms, which for me is fucking great because I'm always over encumbered. Like, you almost never see me without over encumbrance on my character, so that is a blessing. A blessing. The only annoying thing about this, though, is that when I was finally ready to leave after I'd warmed up from the hypothermia, I then was like, oh no, I've got to go back through the waterfall, and as soon as you walk through it, you immediately get hypothermia again. So I had to start a fire on the other side, which is, I keep wondering, the number of times you have to start a fire in caves in this game, it's so dangerous. Because if you start a fire in a cave and there's no way for it to properly ventilate, you're going to die of the smoke. After this, I did the fish one. I don't know what it was called, the big one, I think it was. Basically, you had to go and fish. Essentially, what happens is there's like a hut in the middle of a lake, and then there's a ice fishing hole inside that hut. And you need to crack the ice and then lower your hook into the hole and fish for like certain periods of time. This side mission was annoying as all hell because the fish is really hard to find. Like, it's not just you fish a few times and you get it. It took me days of in-game time, like at least over a week, which is quite amusing when you think about the fact that Astrid's supposed to be rescuing somebody who's out in the wilderness dying. Like, she spent a literal week trying to get this fish because not only did I have to fish in this hole for several days, but my hooks broke. And in order to make a hook, you need to get, you need to cure animal guts. And in order to cure animal gut, you have to leave it on the floor for 5 days. So what I ended up doing was hunting a bunch of rabbits, getting their guts, going to a location. I didn't record this because it took so long. You had to go to a location, just drop the guts to the floor, and then using the meat from the rabbits and the water I could cook on like an active stove I had to wait for 5 days. So just sleeping 12 hours, getting up, eating, drinking, sleeping 12 hours, getting up, eating, drinking. And eventually I managed to make the guts to make a shitload of hooks. I went back to this place and started fishing again. So yeah, eventually I caught this gigantic fish, but the number of fish I caught before that was ridiculous, right? I just reached a point where I was just catching a fish and cooking it immediately because I knew I'd need the food. But yeah, no, once I got this big fish, it was quite cool. Like, the fish was 15 kilograms, so gigantic. And I dropped it on the floor and had a look at it. And I actually cooked it as well, but I just, because I didn't want to take it with me, it was too heavy. So I cooked it and ate. I ate some of it, I guess, but the rest just got dropped on the floor. So if anyone out there ever goes back to the Penance Lake, was it called? I don't know. If anyone out there ever goes back to that lake, you may find the remnants of the giantest fish you've ever seen lying on the floor. That was me. That was me. Okay, last side quest. This one was my favourite, which is why I've left it to last, because it was like, it's just a super cool little thing that didn't really require much effort, but it was quite nice to do. And what this one was that there was a legend of this ghostly stag. And you had to go and find the ghostly stag. So you go to this area in the north of the map. Sorry, northwest of the map. You know, the complete opposite side to everything else. Like, these 3 side quests I've just told you about, the Tall Tales one. This one was top left of the map. the cave was top right of the map, and then the fish was bottom middle of the map. So again, like there were 6 points around this entire map you had to go to. It was ridiculous. And I know I'm presenting them in this order, but I did do the quests in the order that they were located on the map. I didn't just walk to each one individually, because otherwise that would have taken forever. But this was also one of the last ones I did, because I had to go all the way past. Like, this one was just out of the way compared to the others. Anyway, when you get there, there's this open field, and in the corner of it is like a snow shelter, one of the snow shelters you can build. And if you hide inside that and wait till nighttime, what happens is you get to watch a white stag. And I stayed in there for a little while just watching it walk around. Like, I wasn't sure if anything was meant to happen. Like, whether or not it was a programmed event, and if you stepped out, it would run away. But when I stepped out, it didn't run away. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and get a thumbnail, because, you know, I like my thumbnails. So I tried to get as close as I could to it. And amazingly, I got so close to this stag. Like, these things, like all the other ones I've seen in the game, get startled so easily. But I was crouched down behind something, and it didn't see me. And then I started walking closer and closer. And I got so close to this thing that I was, like, basically 2 or 3 feet away from it. And it was looking at me and didn't do anything until eventually, I think it started walking towards me, and I was strafing backwards to try not to be seen. And it saw me, so it ran away. But no, I really enjoyed that mission. It was just... There was just something really sort of innocent about it when you spent the rest of the game sort of gunning down wolves that are trying to kill you. And then you just get to sort of observe a bit of nature. It was nice. So yeah, that's it. That's it for the side missions. In total, the recording for this took me about 6 hours. The amount of walking around was... obviously, I didn't record it all. I just mean the process of getting all of the footage for it took me about 6 hours. Yeah, for anyone watching this who watches the streams, and you wonder why I didn't just do this on stream, it's because it took so long. And I knew it was going to take a long time, because after having gotten the previous 2 survivors, and that taking up most of my previous episode, I wanted to get all the side quests done so I could get the last survivor, do the rest of the story mission, so that people who are watching could just enjoy the story rather than having to watch me wander around collecting, you know, ammo and candy bars. Yeah. So, yeah, this one's been a bit different, but thanks for watching. And if you're enjoying this series, you know, like the videos, comment, etc. with... I don't know what you're really going to comment with. I was going to say suggestions for what to do in the next one, but... Okay, I'm going to kayfabe break here. I'm recording this after I've just done my last stream, so I already know what happens next. It's just that I was too lazy to get the video done last week. By say lazy, I was busy, and I mean, I could have got it done, but okay, I did get it done. I just hated my recording. Okay, you're making me confess it now. I recorded the entire thing, but the thing was, I did it late. So I did it on Wednesday night when the video was meant to go up Thursday. And I was so awkwardly quiet because I was trying not to annoy the neighbours that the footage was just not great. And I was like, oh, I don't upload it in this state because it's not particularly good. So which is why I'm re-recording now to upload on this Tuesday so that the next parts can go up on Thursday and then Saturday. So yeah, next episode's Thursday. Then there's another one on that after Saturday, so I can keep up with my schedule. Big confession from Brad. That's fine. Honestly, yeah. I was really worried because the previous version of this I recorded, I was really stilted when I was talking, and now I'm like a bit more animated, which I think is more interesting to watch when you're essentially just... I'm going to stop talking. Now I'm rambling. Thank you for watching this video. Like the video, subscribe for more content, and join me on Thursday for the next episode of The Long Dark, when we rescue the last survivor, we finish the stocking up quest, and then we presumably go to the mines, because they've mentioned that several times, so I think that's where the next stop's going to be. I've just told you I've already recorded the next bit. I know what happens. We go to the mines. Shoot me.